Hey guys, what is cracking? This Krakenation here, coming at you guys today with the next installment of the Competitive Pokemon Master Guide, where we'll be taking a look at this new Pokemon introduced in the DLC Isle of Armor expansion, and that is none other than the new mythical Pokemon Zarude. Guys, we're going to be taking a look today at what makes Zarude a competitively viable Pokemon and what you can do to make it a part of your competitively viable team and make sure you are maximizing your Zarude's potential. Furthermore, if you want to watch this video to learn how to beat your opposing Zarudes, definitely recommend that, guys. So if that's something you are interested in, stay tuned. If you guys want to go ahead and make sure you get all of this Master Guide content with all the Pokemon Sword and Shield, Isle of Armor, and Crown Tundra updates as they roll out, guys, I definitely recommend you subscribe to the channel. It would be very appreciated. We're really trying to grow this channel and this community. Speaking of community, if you want to go ahead and join our Discord down in the description box below, we have a competitive Pokemon Discord where you can come and talk about new competitive Pokemon and everything going on in the Pokemon community. We've got a really nice community budding over there, so definitely would love for you to come and be a part of it, guys. That's enough pitching for now. If you guys want to go ahead and click that like button, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, guys, and help this channel grow. It is always so appreciated. But let's go ahead and get into Zarude. So with Zarude, we've got a grass and dark type, a type we have previously seen with Pokemon such as Shiftry, but now Zarude is rocking that same typing. It's got the ability Leaf Guard, which allows it to not get status under Sunny Day. Not a very competitively viable ability, I gotta say. I don't think you're gonna be making much use of it, but if you were in a Sun team, this Pokemon does get Solar Blade, so I guess you can make use of that. Speaking of stats that to make use of Solar Blade, let's go ahead and take a look at the stat breakdowns for Zarude today. So you can see some pretty impressive base stats all across the board. You've got 105 HP, 105 defense, 95 special defense. You are pretty bulky, guys. This physical defense stat is pretty intimidating, honestly. You're more physically defensive than something like Mew, for example, and Mew is commonly known as a very physically defensive Pokemon, so it's going to be very good in that particular role. Furthermore, you've got a really decent special defense stat, so you're also good in that sense. Your attack stat is pretty solid, pretty rock solid attack stat. Not terrific, but definitely nothing to scoff at. And you finally got an 105 speed stat as well, and that's going to give you the speed to hopefully outspeed a lot of those common base 100s. Mons like Mew, Manaphy, Jirachi, a lot of those Pokemon are going to get outsped. There's so many common base 100s, base 95s, literally even things like Garchomp, Thundurus, Thunderstarian, I should say specifically. You're going to be able to outspeed all those Pokemon thanks to this really useful speed stat. So overall, you're not going to be able to make use of that special attack stat, but on your hands, you've got a very tanky, very fast physical attacker. Honestly, pretty impressive stats across the board for our boy Zarude here. Taking a look at strengths and weaknesses of using Zarude, guys. First up, you've got great coverage. You've got a lot of access to good coverage moves, and you've got powerful stabs to make use of. You've got very good natural bulk, like we talked about. This thing has got great natural defensive stats. You've got good physical offense. Not great, but definitely good. Nothing to scoff at. You've got access to support and pivot moves. Things like Jungle Healing, which is this Pokemon's signature move, allows it to be, if you are playing a doubles format and you want to use Jungle Healing is a really good move in that format because it gives both Zarude and your teammates 1/4 of their health back, but also at the same time functions as a potential heal bell. So when things like Spore are very common, things like Thunder Wave, Will-O-Wisp, Toxic, very common in doubles gameplay, you'll be able to make use of Zarude using Jungle Healing to both status heal and give the Pokemon some extra survivability with health. So definitely some support move pool there. It's also got access to U-turn, so it does have a pivot move, which makes this thing instantly much better. It's got a very useful speed tier, like we talked about, 105, just naturally outspeeds a lot of cool stuff, and it also makes it a potentially very viable Scarfer. There is some distinctive weaknesses, I should say, when you're using Zarude that you need to keep in mind when you're taking a look at this Pokemon. It's got an absolute garbage defensive typing. This is the defensive typing. First of all, it's not even a very good offensive typing. At that, Grass Dark just isn't a good offensive typing in general. Dark type is a very good physical attacking type, but that's because of how good Knockoff is more than because of how good Dark is. And this Pokemon doesn't even get Knockoff, so you're going to be forced to use moves like Crunch. So that's going to be kind of a shortcoming for it. And just, yeah, Grass Dark, it's got a lot of weaknesses. It's got a 4-time weakness to common move and U-turn, so that's going to be pretty big for it. It's not very versatile. You can't really run specially offensive sets that well on it. It doesn't really have a huge diverse move pool. It doesn't really have access to any setup. So it's got potential to be offensively underwhelming, kind of in hand-to-hand with that. 120 attacks, nothing to scoff at, but it's also not crazy intimidating. And with no real ability to set up physically, it gets Nasty Plot, but it's got a bad special attack stat. So with no real ability to set up its physical attack, you're kind of going to be in a tough spot as far as you may be physically, offensively underwhelming, and some common walls might be a problem for you. It's got a pretty poor ability in Leaf Guard. Leaf Guard obviously has some viability with something like Sun, but not really distinctive. Plus, its jungle healing move already does that. And finally, it's got no viable setup options like I just talked about. It's got Nasty Plot, but doesn't have, I think a move like Bulk Up or Swords Dance would be really, really good on this Pokemon. Even Dragon Dance obviously would be the best, but just anything would be good, and it gets none of them. So let's take a look at some common sets, guys, I'm going to recommend to you guys. And the first one here is going to be the Choice Scarf set. So with a Choice Scarf set, you can also make this set banded, and we're going to go obviously Leaf Guard. You can pick Jolly or Adamant based on what you want to outspeed. If you need to outspeed base 100 Scarfers, you're going to obviously have to run Jolly. But if you don't really worry about those too much, you can run Adamant and try to augment this thing's decent offensive prowess a little bit better. And for moves on that set, you're going to be running Power Whip. I think is going to be your go-to stab attack for most situations, guys. Just a really, really powerful move overall, and I think you're going to find a lot of success just clicking Power Whip on average. U-turn is going to be obviously very good because it is that pivot move to allow you to grab some momentum on the various occasions where you're going to need to do it. Close Combat's really good to allow you to hit those steel types that may come into you. I think Close Combat's a really nice coverage move on this Pokemon. Just because, yeah, steel types can become so problematic, things like Ferrothorn, for example. And finally, in the last spot, you've got your choice of Crunch or Rock Slide. I chose to give you guys this. I want to give you guys those options. Just be aware that they both exist. Rock Slide will let you hit flying types, but otherwise completely wall you. Obviously, things like Corviknight still wall you, but Rock Slide is there to hit those flying types that are weak to it. And then Crunch is also an option just to give you that secondary stab move if you do need it, but Power Whip generally is going to be hitting most things. The only things it's not hitting are things like fire types, which you hit with Rock Slide if you run that, and steel types, which you hit with Close Combat if you run that, and flying types, which you hit with Rock Slide if you run that. So as you can see, I think overall Rock Slide will be the move of choice, but you do have the option to run Crunch based on the kind of team that you are running. Taking a look at the next set here, we've got a doubles support set for you guys today. We're going to be cooking up a double set, and this is going to be a leftovers for an item because you are going to be pretty physically defensive. We're going to take a bold nature with investment into physical defense and HP to make maximum use of this thing's very, very good physical defense, and it's going to really augment it all the way. And we're going to run Jungle Healing, Taunt, U-Turn, and Power Whip, guys. So Jungle Healing will give us the ability to keep our team healthy and alive and attacking. Taunt gives us an option, but you can also run Protect here potentially, but Taunt gives us an option to kind of stop our opponent's shenanigans in their tracks. U-Turn to pivot out, just always a very good move to click. And finally, Power Whip, just so that we're not completely crap against opposing. Offensively, we're not crap anymore. Power Whip will still hit pretty hard even with no investment because it is such a high base power move coming off a decent attack stat. You will have the option to click the Power Whip in a pinch if you need to. Guys, taking a look at team options and counters. Pokemon that can still beat fire types. Bulky Water is a really good partner for this Pokemon. So, for example, if a Steel type comes in or Fire type comes in, you may be really intimidated, especially if it's Scarfer. If it's a Scarfer or faster than you. So if you can U-turn on out of there, it gives you a really good chance to get out and go into your Bulky Water and hopefully eat and hit from one of those Pokemon. And so that's going to be really important to you. Kind of in a similar vein, good physical wall breakers that can overwhelm your answers in general are going to be really valuable. Things like Ferrothorn can pose a pretty big problem for Zarude just in the current metagame. So, and just those kind of really bulky Pokemon in general. So things like Corviknight are going to be really problematic. So I think like a Rotom Heat could be a really good partner because it can switch into most Steel types, switch into Fire types pretty decently. It's also a good Pokemon to switch into Corviknight, which is a really big answer to Zarude in the metagame right now. So I think Rotom Heat may be a great answer for you, just in general for those Pokemon. But just good physical wall breakers in general can overwhelm your answers. So kind of pair well with Zarude. Or just wall breaking in general. So you could honestly go with something like a Specs. Dragapult would be maybe a good partner for it, with some typing synergy there. Obviously, this can switch into Ghost types pretty well for Dragapult. You have a bit of a Fairy weakness there, but there's also other special wall breakers that could be good. Primarina could be a bulky water type that you could switch out into, and maybe a Specs Primarina with max HP investment you could switch on out into and use it as an offensive wall breaker there out. Now, looking at things that beat Zarude, U-turn is an incredibly common pivot move that a lot of Pokemon run, and this Pokemon basically gets O-code by U-turn, so you're going to want to really be careful about U-turn specifically. It struggles with Pokemon such as Corviknight and Rotom Heat. Like we talked about, Corviknight's basically a go-to answer, so Pokemon that beat these two Pokemon right here are going to be absolutely crucial. So something like Clefable, maybe not the best answer, best teammate I should say, all by itself, because it can't beat those Pokemon either very well. So that's going to be something you need to keep in mind. And finally, sturdy physical walls that aren't weak to its stabs, like Ferrothorn, just in general can be really problematic. So like that kind of goes hand in hand with Corviknight. Just these physical walls that can kind of eat hits and not really fear. It's again, like this Pokemon has power, but not an overwhelming amount of it. So a lot of these Pokemon can come in and just kind of eat hits. That's why you want to pair it with Pokemon that beat those answers, and maybe just some wall breaking options in general, because if you're running like the Scarf set, which I imagine being the most viable Zarude set, I think is going to be really well supported by good breakers. So guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful at all, make sure to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about Zarude. Was there a set that I forgot that I should have mentioned? Was there maybe something that I did not give enough credit to? Make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Go ahead and join that Discord. Click the subscribe button to stay up to date with all your Pokemon Sword and Shield, Isle of Armor, and Crown Tundra content. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Krakenation out.